So you've got yourself into an exercise routine that suits you. You're feeling fit, you're feeling strong, or you've just decided now is the time when you want to exercise more and feel healthier and better in your own body. Either way, the summer holidays come along and they can completely throw you off track. I know this happens to me every year, and I'm trying to take steps to mitigate this. So you are not alone if this is how you're feeling. Today I'm going to share with you some simple, doable ways that busy mums like you can stay active and feel great, even when life is chaotic, mad, and full of summer holiday merriment. Welcome to the Happy Thriving Mums podcast, the show that talks about the simple actions busy mums like you can take to prioritise your own health, happiness and fitness. And it doesn't stop there. This show also includes amazing stories from remarkable women who help others to be the best version of themselves. Because if you feel great, you thrive, and so does your family. So, if you're ready to overcome mum guilt, manage overwhelm, feel and look your best, and create a happier, more balanced life for yourself and your family, this podcast is for you. Hello. I hope you are doing okay. The summer holidays are going well and you're feeling good. This week, I am talking about how you can try to keep going with your fitness routine even in the summer holidays. So it's really commonplace that during the summer holidays, fitness routines, exercising really does drop off. And that is kind of quite common across the fitness industry. So if you talk to personal trainers and other fitness professionals at this time of year, it can be quite tricky for people to maintain their normal routine. And obviously, this is because of the summer holidays. You might be going away, the kids might be off, you don't have so much time, you're trying to juggle more things. And so what often tends to give isn't what you're doing with the kids or how you're occupying their time, but it's your time. What you do with your time has to change in order for you to try and entertain and keep a happy household. Before I go any further, I just want to remind you that you can download my free, stress-free summer holiday planner to help you plan a few bits and pieces within the summer holiday, which allows you flexibility to overcome the overwhelm of trying to keep the kids entertained for the whole time without a plan. And it allows you just to kind of ease gently into the holiday time, give the kids ideas of things that they can do that don't send you crazy, and also just to manage everybody's expectations so you all have a great time and know what's going on. So that is completely free. The link is in the show notes. Download it. I hope you enjoy it. I think it's really, really helpful. Back to the show. So, we know during the summer holidays there is a massive routine disruption, and that can be for the kids as well as for you. So say you went to a class regularly at 11 o'clock on a Tuesday morning. When the kids are at home, that might go out of the window. Maybe you've got a jogging routine that you do a few days a week. Maybe you go to the gym, whatever it is. These things, when you've got kids that are off school and you need to be with them, so the younger children, teenagers, obviously you can leave for a while. But when you've got young kids which need you to be there or need someone to be with them, you find that your routine is disrupted. The other thing that disrupts the routine is just the general increase in mental load during this time. So in the holidays, you know there are so many decisions that you have to make. You might be going out for the day, you might need to make packed lunches, the kids might be going on sleepovers or play dates or whatever it is. You need to manage all of this stuff, which means that quite often you forget about yourself, you prioritize everybody else, and then that's when things can get really, really tricky. Remember, as I always say, prioritizing yourself is so important because it gives you that capacity to have some breathing space, to have a little break, to actually give yourself something that you need, whether it's a cup of tea, whether it's movement, whether it's something just to boost your energy levels. You need that in your life in order to help support the people around you and those that you love. And that is why it's really important to at least try and maintain some kind of exercise and fitness regime even in the holidays. I know that a lot of you may be going away, and that is a gorgeous thing. And I think you need to give yourself a break. So if you are going away on holiday, you're going abroad, or you're going to a lovely cottage somewhere, or whatever you're doing for your holiday, and you miss a week of training or you miss a week of exercise for whatever reason, don't worry and don't feel guilty about not exercising. Don't feel guilty about not exercising at any time during the summer holidays, because it is a different time. It is a real challenge, and you can only do what you can do. And quite often, a lot of the stuff that you do when the kids are on holiday is to try to keep you sane and keep everybody else calm and on a level keel, so that everybody doesn't go around going crazy. I know, I've been there so many times. So, what can you do to try and maintain your fitness levels during the holidays? The thing that you need to remember is fitness, there is that phrase, if you don't use it, you lose it. And whilst this is true, it doesn't happen just like that. It's not flash, it's gone in an instant. It can take 4 to 6 weeks for fitness levels to begin to drop off before you lose your fitness entirely. So be kind of mindful of that. And if everything that you can do, as I always say, any movement that you can do is good movement. If you can do something once a week, that's much better than doing nothing. If you can do something 3 times a week, then that's great. But what you might need to do is you might need to try and be a bit more creative with either when you do your exercise and your workouts, or how you do them and where you do them. So some people love getting up early, 5 o'clock in the morning, and get downstairs before anybody else is awake and do their workouts. I understand that that is a great thing, and actually I really do enjoy doing that, because it gives me a block of time during the day when nobody else is up and I can just be on my own. I can gather my thoughts, gather myself for the day, exercise. I know I've done the bit for myself before anyone else works up, and it really does suit me. But for some people, the thought of that is horrible, the worst thing ever. So I encourage you to try different things. Maybe it might be something you try and decide you love and you might stick at it. Or maybe for you might prefer to do that at the end of the day, wait for the kids to go to bed, and then you do your exercise at the very end of the day as a stress relief. Day is done, and then you go to bed afterwards. Changing your routine slightly to accommodate what works can be a really, really helpful thing. But other things you need to think about is that you can exercise in different ways. So whilst you might be used to going to the gym or doing a HIIT route class or doing something on the Peloton or doing an online workout, whatever it is that you do, you may need to slightly adjust that during this holiday period. So maybe you could do something with the kids. Maybe you could get the bikes out. You could go for a bike ride. You could go for a walk. And I've done a whole episode on how to make fitness fun for the kids as well. So I suggested things like going on a treasure hunt when you're going for a walk, or rebranding the walk to an adventure. So you can look and find that episode. I'll put a link to it in the show notes. But it gives you ideas on how to get kids out for walks, because sometimes we all know the idea of a walk for a child is like literal torture in their heads until they get out there and actually they quite enjoy it. Borrowing a dog is also a really good one. And if anyone wants to borrow mine for a day, I'm very happy for you to borrow her, my crazy Sprocker Spaniel. But she is good fun, and it does get the kids out of the house because she is an absolute free diver. She'll jump into the canal after a stick, like it's literally nothing stopping her. It's a gorgeous thing to watch. She's so free, and actually watching her do this like leap, you can imagine it's like running, and then she propels herself off the bank of the canal, following the stick, totally uninhibited. If only I feel that I could be like that every single day, I think life would be very different. She's a real role model for like living her dream and going for everything that she does. So she's a star, crazy, but a star, and a really good way to get the kids out of the house. So trying to do something which is acceptable to everybody can be a good way, whether it's getting your steps in, doing a little bit of extra walking, or having a dance party in the kitchen. It doesn't have to be going for a gym session or going for a run or getting out the house. There are so many things that you can access online to do some exercise at home. Even 10 minutes is much better than doing nothing. So it's just about changing your expectations and thinking, what can I do, rather than worrying that you're not doing what you would do normally and how then that might affect you. Because in the grand scheme of things, you can always improve your fitness. If you go back a step, in a few weeks' time, you'll be right back where you left off. There's research to show that even if you lose a bit of fitness, because you've had it before, you gain it quicker if you have been doing it regularly. So it's not the end of the world if you cannot maintain your normal fitness routine. But as I suggested, times of the day, doing slightly different activities can help in other ways. So other things that you can do is maybe try and get your children into some kind of childcare setting for a little bit to give you a bit of space to go and do some exercise that you really would enjoy, or get a friend or a family member involved in looking after them for a little bit so that you can then go off and do something for you. The kids will always want to do or not want to do what you suggest sometimes, don't they? You know what they're like. You might suggest the thing that they love more than anything one week, and then the next week you suggest the same thing and they hate it. So it's just talking to your kids and saying, this is important to me. What's important to you? Maybe you could bargain with them. If you come out and we go for a bike ride for half an hour, then tomorrow we can go to the park for half an hour, and it kind of works in everybody's favour. So that is a really good way of trying to get the kids on side for you to kind of keep your fitness going. Another thing you can do is, if you do go away, some people like to go away and literally switch off, do everything which is not what is considered within their normal routine. And I completely respect that. It is completely up to you what you do on your holiday. But another thing you might do when you go on holiday, depending on where you're staying, they might offer different activities that you could do. Like if you go somewhere abroad and those gorgeous pools, there's quite often water aerobics or water polo, or just something a bit different that you can try. Sometimes there's different classes that you can sign up to. So maybe just try something a bit different just for a short amount of time. And it might even be something that you enjoy so much, when you come home you try and put that into your regular routine again. So just be open to different experiences and seeing what you can do, and don't berate yourself for something that you don't do. It's all about moving as much as you can and keeping yourself active as best you can within this time frame. So some other things that you can do is you can do some time-saving fitness hacks. So you could just do a 10-minute session of things at home. You could do a 10-minute HIIT class, a 10-minute yoga session. You could do, every time you make a coffee, you're doing squats or lunges or press-ups. You could just try and incorporate it into your routine at home with the kids. You could do a game that when someone says a certain word throughout the day, everybody has to do some kind of movement or exercise or whatever it is. So try and just make this fun and give yourself some grace here. If you can't stick to what you would do normally, don't worry, it's going to be fine. At the end of the day, as long as you are looking after yourself, you're giving yourself some time to have a break, a bit of a rest, and feel at peace so that you are not getting stressed and worked up during the holidays. That is the most important thing. Finally, think about goals, okay? So think about goals. You might have big goals for your fitness this year. So for example, at the beginning of January, I decided that this year I would like to be able to do a handstand. And then halfway through the year, I decided I'd like to be able to do at least 5 chin-ups in a row. So I am working towards those goals. I know that in the summer holidays, being able to train to a degree which is regular and prolonged enough to reach my goals may or may not work out. And so I know realistically I might need to take a step back here and make something slightly different work. And that's okay. And I'm not going to feel guilty about it. I'm going to just try and do the very best that I can do. So that's what I would suggest to you. Be realistic. Give yourself a rest, because actually, as I've talked about quite a lot, your body does need a rest. And if you work in a something called periodisation, which is when you taper your training plan at different times for different reasons. In a periodised training program, there's often times when you have a bit more rest and you work to a slightly lesser level than you would on the week where you should be working at kind of whatever your maximal levels are, or whatever the progress levels are that you need to be working at to achieve your goals. So just treat the summer as maybe that. It's a time for rest. It's a time to let the body recuperate. And then come September, just start where you left off, see how that feels. And if it's too hard, work things down and back a bit so that you can progress again. It's this idea that sometimes things need to be knocked down for you to come back and rise stronger. And you will rise. And you, if you are determined, can be the fittest and best version of yourself possible. So give yourself a break if that's what you can do. Try and lean into it. Try and make healthy choices in other things that you're doing. So eat well, drink well, make sure you're hydrated, try and get enough sleep. You can even try visualization or mental rehearsal of movements. I love this. So mental rehearsal is when you think about doing something. So there's a British javelin thrower called Steve Backley. He's kind of from the 90s. And he got a really bad shoulder injury, but really wanted still to get to the major competition that he'd been training for. I believe it might have been the Olympics or the World Champs. I can't remember. Please don't direct quote me on that. But he couldn't train because of this injury. So what he did was he visualized and mentally rehearsed the action of throwing the javelin again and again and again and again. And there is evidence to show that if you visualize and mentally rehearse movements, your muscle patterns still fire up in a similar way to what they would fire up like if you were actually doing the movement. So this is suggesting that if you think through doing whatever training you are doing, it could have some kind of positive effect for you. Totally worth it, right? So if you don't have the time to do an actual workout, but maybe you have got 5 minutes, maybe just sit and actually visualize doing the workout, and it might give you some of the benefits. Okay, I'm not saying for definite it will, but there is evidence to show that mentally rehearsing things does trigger that same physiological response. Just something to think about. So, key takeaways for this week. Don't beat yourself up if you can't stick to your usual routine. There's a lot going on in the summer holidays. Your kids probably need you, and also you probably want to hang out with the kids and try and make lovely memories with them. So if you fall off the exercise wagon, don't be hard on yourself. These things happen. You can pick it up again. It's not the end of the world. Number 2, try and do what you can. Get the kids out, get them running around with you, do something with them, whether it's a walk, whether it's a swim, whether it's a bike ride. Try and make it fun. Try and do it together. Number 2, maybe try something a little bit different. Get up early and do an early workout, or do something when the kids have gone to bed. Mix up your routine a little bit. Try something different that you might not have done whilst you're away on holiday. See how you find it and how it makes you feel. Finally, remember, anything you do is better than nothing. Movement is magic, and especially for your mental health, the more you move, the better you feel. So try to incorporate some kind of movement into your days, into your weeks, every day, and try to prioritize yourself, because you are amazing, you are important, you are really, really deserving of having that bit of time for you to make you feel great. Because remember, if you feel great, you can make everyone else around you feel great. And I totally believe in you. I hope you have found this episode useful and you'll try a couple of the takeaways this summer. But most importantly, enjoy yourself, relax, give yourself some grace, and have a brilliant time. Thank you so much for listening.